As young female founders, sometimes it can be really, really difficult to know if you're doing the right thing or not. So I've developed a couple of frameworks, or found that these couple of things have helped me get more confident in what I'm actually doing and building a business that can't be copied. If you don't know me, hi, I'm Elizabeth. I have built my own business working from my laptop, traveling around Asia. Brands have worked with me on LinkedIn. Business has grown to out-earn my old 9-to-5 salary. So I spend every single day working with the most amazing people that I know and actually getting to spend time and pour effort into those relationships. All of that comes down to one skill that I think if I wasn't still trying to hone this skill, or still trying to get better at it, that my business would stagnate and would eventually crumble. And that skill is making decisions. So I've been asked like a million times how I've managed to build a business that is so aligned with who I am. And in all honesty, it is down to my decision making. And it comes down to the fact that when I first started my business, I didn't really do much research. And I feel like that goes against everything that everyone is telling you about, like, you know, analyze your competitors and figure out where you fit in the market. But when it comes to building a business that is true to you and true to who you are, and that will light you up in every single aspect of what you do, then you don't want to be filling your brain with all of the things that your competitors are or aren't doing, because ultimately that doesn't affect you. You want to be building a business that is aligned with who you are. So the person that you need to be asking is you. The biggest indication for me of whether a decision that I was making was a good one or a bad one is, am I aligned with this? Does this feel right to me? As young women, we have the power and such a unique ability to listen to our gut and to follow our instincts. And I feel like that just isn't utilized in business. Your gut will be able to tell you. You just have to hone in the skill of actually listening to it and accepting that. And then the next step to that is actually making the decision, taking the action. Because the only way that you can get more confident in your decision making is by gaining more information, by having more evidence. And making a bad decision is not the end of the world. Most decisions are reversible. So much of society has forced us to ignore our gut instincts and to ignore our intuition. And I think that really the biggest stride you can make towards feeling more confident in your decisions is to create more space for you to actually not just think about, but feel out the decisions that you're making for you in your business that will actually drive you forward and that feel the most aligned. Don't discount how you feel about something. And if that's not the most logical or the most efficient answer, then fine. The other thing that I had to accept to get really good at decision making was that I will never have 100% of the answer, or that I will never be 100% sure. It's so easy to get stuck in this trap of always trying to find out more information before you make the decision. There is no amount of evidence that you can gather that will actually make you feel sure or confident in your decision. That is a mindset thing. Between two decisions, you only have to be 51% sure about one over the other. And the rest of it, the information, the feedback, the seeing your decision out in the real world, unless you're signing a contract for something, decision making isn't final. Like any decision that you make in your business, I've made plenty of decisions in my business that I've later, backtracked or paused. All of that is the natural evolution of actually building something that you'll want to work on long term. What decisions would you make if there was no wrong answer? Because in business, I find that there's never a wrong answer. Some things work for some people and some things don't work for others. I would only get to this point of confidence that this thing is something I definitely don't want to do anymore if I hadn't have made the decision to do it, tried it, maybe not enjoyed it as much, and then pivoted it. I think another big reason why being confident in your decisions is so important is because you avoid getting caught up in what everyone else is doing. If you're constantly looking for outside confirmation of what you should be doing next in your business, it will slow you down. If you're asking other people, like say a business coach or a mentor, they can take a while to get back to you. They might not have all the context. They might not know how you feel about these certain things. Whereas being able to just make a decision out of yourself and then stand by that will actually help you move so much more quicker, because all of these little decisions that you're making really quickly help you gather so much more information than one person that waits to make a decision really, really late on with 100 different ideas and 100 different bits of feedback from other people before they even move forward. It's such a slippery slope. If you want to see what your competitors are doing, or you want to, make a decision based off what everybody else in your industry is doing, that is a surefire way to get caught up in how much is everyone else making, how many clients has everyone else got, what is everyone else doing in the future, what are their goals, what are their strategies. And you end up comparing yourself a lot and not being focused on the long-term impact of your decisions that you've stolen off someone else, what that will do for your business. But also you end up building somebody else's business. And when you build someone else's business, what is the difference between choosing yours and choosing theirs for a client or a customer? I think a big reason why my business, after almost a year, has managed to stand the test of time compared to a couple of little competitors here and there, is that all of the decisions I've made have been intentional and deliberate and come from what I would genuinely want this business to be if I was a customer, and none of it actually came from the outside. I made sure to make every single decision for my business first, and then go out and maybe do a little bit of research and sort of sense check whether this was something that other people were either doing or not doing. And if they weren't doing it, I needed to be really, really clear on why I was going to do that thing. And if they were, then that was just confirmation for me that maybe I was on the right track, if those were the people that were on the same path that I wanted to be on. And it also helps you realize that everyone else is probably either making the right decision for them, and that might not be right for you, or they're making decisions based on what everyone else is doing, which is probably not right for them at all. Being confident in the way that you make decisions is actually the biggest indication of whether your business will succeed or not. Because if you're confident in the decisions that you're making, and you're confident in the path that you're taking in your business, then you will be able to show up with so much more confidence, with so much more grit and determination, because you're not in this constant state of, oh, I don't really know if this is right, or I'm not really sure. You can just be like, no, I'm going to stick to this, and I'm going to get more information further down the line once I've actioned this idea. That is genuinely magnetic to people who want to work with you, because even if you're making a series of decisions that put you on a slightly different path than most of your competition, good. That is actually the thing that will make you stand out. And I think that being able to align who you are and what you actually want to your business will allow you to actually create a business you want to work in and not just somebody else's. So I'm going to talk you through some of the frameworks of how I make decisions in my business, and how I will also make decisions further in the future to hopefully grow and expand my business as well. So the first one is the gut check, right? Especially if you're building a business that you're your ideal client for, or that a past version of you is your ideal client for, I want you to think about how this would feel to them. How would this feel to a past version of you? When it comes to the gut check or the internal compass, I want you to ask yourself which of them feels more expansive. And it's not one decision is oh my god yeah, and one decision is oh my god no. It's more just which of these decisions aligns more with your values. So we'll talk about this in another video probably, about figuring out what your values actually are as a business owner and also in your business in general. But when you think about what you stand for in your business, which is obviously really important, not just so that your clients can be attracted to you, but so you can also make decisions more easily. You have different ideas for, say, products that you want to sell, then I want you to list out the top 5 values that you have as a person, and then also that you have as a business, and the things that you stand for aligns with more of those values. Because if one of them, if they're essentially equal, but one of them ticks 4 out of the 5 of the boxes and one only ticks 3, then you're moving your business forward with the one that ticks 4 even more, because you're solidifying those values to the people around you and to your customers. The way that you will get more confident in your decision making skills as a young female founder is by making more of them. Try and make everything in your life an intentional decision, not just drifting through life and letting things come to you and letting things go, but actually intentionally make the choice to do one thing over another, and consider the fact that all of those choices are actually giving you more evidence that you are capable of making decisions and that you are capable of listening to your voice and honouring that voice, because ultimately the best person that knows what is right for your business is you. And don't sleep on that, because that is how you build a business that is one of one, that nobody can copy, that you're sure of is doing the right thing, and that you know that you could replicate over and over and over again. If you're a good person, you care about other people, and you stand strong in what you believe in, then the decisions you make can only take you on the path that you're meant to go down. Let me know how you usually make your decisions, or if there are any frameworks that I've not really, talked about. I know there's like millions of how you make decisions in your business, and any time that you've made a decision that you regretted or that you learned a really valuable lesson from. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!